Holidays are a time for family, tradition, celebration, togetherness, but they can also be an ideal opportunity to have some important conversations that we often put off. Today, we are joined by Mark Henry from Alloy Wealth Management to discuss why the holiday season actually might be the perfect time to talk about financial planning with your loved ones. Hi, Mark.
Hi.
How you doing? Nice to see you again. We were hanging out at the Magical Toy Drive over the weekend.
Wasn't that fun? It was great.
That was great, and wow.
So many toys were delivered by so many people.
His toys, like this racing car, this Lamborghini. That is wild. What a life. What a nice big life you have, Mark. All right, we all want to have a big life around the holidays, and this might be an important time. It doesn't have to be awkward, right, to talk about financial issues with the family?
Yeah, it's something most people don't think of, but I find, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, this is a time where the family typically gets together, and sometimes they don't see each other all that often. They live out of state and things like that, and it's a great time to bring up really important topics like financial matters with the family.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we try to avoid it during the holidays,
right.
But why is it important to talk about something like the finances?
Well, it can be both adults talking to their children about finances and what they want to do in the next year and the direction we're heading as a family and getting them brought up to speed. Or what I find even more appropriate is now we're around our aging parents a lot of times, and it's time to really discuss what that looks like and what's going on and make sure that mom and dad are ready for the next chapter of life that they might be entering into.
All right, so what specific topics should we be addressing then when it comes to both of those groups?
When it comes to like the aging parents and stuff, I really think it's a great time when you're sitting around, not when the kids are opening presents or something, but away from the thing and get the family together and just talk about, hey, how are we financially? Y'all okay? A lot of times the parents don't want to talk about this, but it needs to be talked about. And what plans do we have if somebody's going to require more care? And what help can we provide? And what does that look like? And just get a real clear picture of what's going on, and then obviously always talk about the financial scams that not only hit seniors but they hit everybody.
Right,
but
sure.
Make sure the parents are up to speed on, hey, never give out your information, never, all the different things, and just have a real good topic about, conversation about, hey, where are we headed and what does it look like for y'all? What are the plans?
Yeah, exactly. When it comes to long-term care, people don't realize that it might be a financial burden, and an estate planning as well. It doesn't mean like it's for only the wealthy, right?
Absolutely. Everybody needs to make sure we have an up-to-date will, at least. Do we need estate planning? Do we need a trust? Are there things that need to be looked at? When's the last time mom and dad updated their will? Are the beneficiary selection correct? Does it need to be changed? Do we have all the policy information? Do we know what life insurance policies they may or may not have? Where's it all at? How many accounts do we have? How many bank accounts are still open? You would be really surprised what I see sometimes.
Okay, so spring cleaning, winter cleaning and prepping for the new year might be a good time for it. Potentially difficult conversations, though, right? Let's be real. How do we approach this kind of topic?
Just approach it with love. It can be potentially difficult, but we're going to have to talk about this sooner than later, and it's much better to talk about it at a Thanksgiving holiday, a Christmas holiday like we're talking about now, than waiting until something happens and the children have no idea what the plan may or may not be, or is there even a plan? That's even harder. That's way harder. Wait till somebody gets sick and now mom needs help with dad and we don't know where the money is. We don't know what to do. That is a terrible time.
Yeah.
So that's why you want to do it ahead of time.
I mean, and what a great gift to give the family and yourselves.
Right.
It's just a peace of mind.
Yeah.
Exactly. So when it comes to saving and investing, hopefully retiring someday, as we know, the stock market can be volatile.
It is.
It is volatile right now.
It is volatile.
And so what, as far as trends go, we round out 25 and go into 26. What should we expect here for the next short term?
Well, Santa Claus is going to show up, and that typically brings the Santa Claus rally. And what I mean by that is the consumer spending typically never disappoints. And so typically, we never know. That's the interesting thing about Wall Street is you never know. But cyclical things are just that. They're cyclical. And we expect to have the Santa Claus bounce after Christmas. So it's a good time a lot of times. You'll see markets markets go up. Now, if it was a terrible holiday season and we didn't spend much, well, that would be a problem. But it looks like we're doing pretty good. And it looks like people are spending, even though money is tight for so many families. It sounds like right now it's beating expectations, the Cyber Mondays and all the different things that we've just had, Black Friday sales and all that. So we should see that Santa Claus bounce heading into the new year.
All right. And so for those who are interested in investing and taking advantage of this Santa Claus rally, what should people know?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Everybody wants to do something called timing the market.
Right.
Timing. I say it differently. When you're investing in the market, what you need is time in. Not timing, time in the market.
No G.
And what that means, that's right, time in simply means this. You know, if you're preparing for retirement and you're 5 years out, totally different subject. But you're 35, you want to one day retire, you're 45, you just need to be in the market. You got to be in. That means you have to be in when it's really good, and you also want to be in it when it's really bad. And people say, why would I want to be in it when it's bad? Because you're hopefully buying quality items and they're on sale. And who doesn't like a sale?
Love sales. Love it. So if you are looking at time in the market,
Right.
when is it a problem?
It's a problem when you panic. So when you're young, you like the idea of the market going down. It sounds terrible. I hate it when market goes down personally, but the reality is we should embrace it if we're young, because we can now keep investing, maybe even find more money to put in, buy quality things on sale. Here's when it's a problem. You're 5 years away from retirement. You're 7 years away. You just retired last week. That's a big deal. You should have already planned for this. Someone should have helped you plan for this so that you only have the money in the market that you could afford to go down. But you can't have all your money going down when you're now spending it. That's tough.
What is your advice then for managing risk during a volatile market period?
Risk is a personal choice, and you should only take the amount of risk you're willing to take. Another way to say that is only have the money in the markets you're willing to lose. And when you say lose, it's not like it's going to vanish. It'll just go way down at times, especially during big market drawdowns. Well, you haven't necessarily lost the money because you still own the shares of stock. But make no mistake, if the statement says you have less money, guess what you have? Less money. So when you have less money in retirement, that's when fear sets in. That's why we recommend you only have the money in the market that you can afford to draw down, that you can afford for it to go down like it's going to at some point, and you're okay because you don't have to touch it, giving it time to come back. If you're having to use that money in retirement, it's a terrible time to be in the market when it's falling, because you're taking a withdrawal and it's going down. That's like selling things when they're on sale. You don't want to sell them when they're on sale.
Right.
You want to buy them when they're on sale. When
Right.
retirees aren't buying anymore, they're selling.
All right. What is one thing we can control when it comes to our financial future?
You really can control way more than you expect. We can't control markets. We can control a spending plan. We can control how our money is coming in. We can control an income plan. That's why we recommend for retirees to have money both inside Wall Street and away from Wall Street, where it doesn't have the volatility. And
All right.
you have that control. It's your money.
All right, there we go. That is a positive. We're going to keep with this Monday motivation. It's your money. Money Matters with Mark Henry. He's going to be joining our Nick Sturtevant later on at 4 and on Charlotte Today, I believe, right?
That's right.
That'll be live here coming up at 11.